Yeah, I am. Yo, people, welcome back. Good evening. There's no Premier League football tonight, so I thought me and Steve will have a good old-fashioned chat about the game tomorrow. Steve, thank you for coming on the channel, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's been a busy day. Forgot all about this, to be honest, and then laptop issues, and then I thought, you know what, I better get in the car, drive through the storm, and get back to the studio for this.
Yeah. How is the storm up north? Is it
It's
bad?
not good. Yeah, it's not good. These trees getting blown over and wheelie bins flying about at like 300 foot in the air. It's like the Wizard of Oz, mate.
I see there were videos going around of people in London literally getting blown away, like they're walking and I shouldn't even laugh, but like they're being like they just get tumbled over and they're just rolling on the floor.
Yeah, I seen the O2 roof got ripped off. Tottenham Stadium bouncing,
shaking. Yeah, it's nuts. Unfortunately, someone actually died. So R.I.P. to her. Yeah, someone died. I think like a woman in her early 30s. I think she was in her car when like a tree like fell on the car. So
wow.
It's really sad, man. Really sad. But anyway, listen, we're here to talk about Man City. We're here to talk about Spurs, man. This is Pep Guardiola. Like he loves. Have you seen his press conference?
I haven't seen it yet. I usually catch up to it later on when everyone's gone to sleep and it's just me on my own watching shit football.
Yeah, like I didn't watch it fully, but I saw like a quote, and Pep is doing that thing, and I've spoken to you about this. Pep is doing that thing he always does, where he likes to like he likes to overplay the opposition. Like he knows he's gonna turn us over, but he has to say these things just to make sure that like nobody in your squad like lets it slip from a mentality point of view. Like he doesn't want to be too cautious. He always wants to emphasize like how dangerous the opposition is. But do you, because I'm looking at it as Pep is saying what he needs to say to make sure that your team maintains focus. But how do you view it when he makes some of these comments?
No, listen, if he came out every week and said, yeah, Tottenham are a decent side, but to be honest, I think we should beat them and get the 3 points, everyone would be saying he's arrogant, he's disrespectful, he doesn't do this. So at the end of the day, he's just being respectful. You know what I mean? He knows that Conte is a good manager. He knows that Tottenham beat us early on in the season. They beat us last season. They beat us in the Champions League. So the last thing he's going to do is start trying to like say disrespect the opposition. I mean, I think he just appreciates any opposition. You know, even in cup competitions, he always gives credit to the other teams, whether we beat them or not. I mean, it's just a Pep thing. But like, listen, if he came out today and said Tottenham is shit and we're going to smoke them, you'd be coming on here going absolutely mad, and the internet would be going mad. So listen, what do you want him to say, man? He's giving you a bit of respect. He respects Conte, and he's just he knows what he's doing, innit? He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Listen, you know what? Yeah, funnily enough, I would actually respect him for keeping it real. I get, but you are right. Like other people will basically slam him and say,
the world would go mad if he said that.
Yeah. They would. But me personally, I would see it as at least he's just freeing the rule. When he says all this stuff like Spurs are super dangerous, maybe somewhere deep down he means it, but he knows this is a mismatch, like man for man anyway. But it's fine. Let's actually talk about his record then. So a lot of people seem to think that like we're your bogey team, but I was doing my research today. So Pep's record against us in the league. So he's played us. So you lot have played us 11 times whilst he's been the manager in the league. So he's won 5, drawn twice, and lost 4. So fairly even in terms of like his record against us. But the one thing I want to know is that all of his 4 losses have not come at the Etihad. He's unbeaten at the Etihad against us. So I think he's only drawn twice, and the other ones he's beaten us. So do you give any credence to that record, or do you just see it as just business as usual for you on Saturday?
I think when you beat us the last 2 times, it's been right at the beginning of the season, and we're notoriously at the minute starting very, very slow. And the last 2 seasons has almost been a mirror image of each other, where we didn't get the best of starts, but then we kicked into gear. This is totally different because the business end of the season now. We're halfway through an incredible run, undefeated, and we're just trying to get the points on the board. So, like you say, it's not an ideal time to play us. You know what I mean? We've just been to Lisbon, put 5 past them. We went to Norwich last week. People were saying could be a banana skin, put 4 past them. So, you know what I mean? We're playing well at the minute. The engine's ticking nice, and I just think we've got to get the job done. I don't think Spurs are going to stop us tomorrow. I don't think many teams are going to stop us now. I think we've got that Premier League in our sights, and we're just going for it.
Yeah, and before I talk on Spurs, because I actually want to speak more about Man City. I think it's crazy that even though, because technically as it stands, you got a 9-point gap at the top. Liverpool obviously they got a game in hand, but you got a 9-point gap at the top. But even as poor as we've been, this isn't a game that you can just take your focus off. This ain't a game you can just sort of waltz about. And the reason why I'm saying that is because any mishap, and all of a sudden Liverpool have 2 games in hand and you're 9 points behind them. Let's say you don't win tomorrow. Let's say you lose tomorrow. Liverpool would then have 2 games in hand. If they win those 2 games in hand, they'll cut the gap down to 3. And then all of a sudden you're back into the title race. So as much as we said on the Big Six, I've even said on the Big Six, I think City are going to win it. I think the league is done, etc., etc. But with the reinforcements Liverpool brought in January and their form in recent weeks, they're still not a side that you can count out of this race. I don't know what's your view on the title race.
No, I've said it before when they were all saying it was over. I said it wasn't over. I honestly believe that. Like you say, it's better to be chasing. I honestly believe that. When we were chasing Liverpool down, there wasn't enough pressure. I was relaxed with it because I thought waiting for them to slip. When you're top of the shot, you can't put a foot wrong. Soon as you do put a foot wrong, then everyone's on you. So it's we just got to keep doing what we're doing. I do think there's going to be a few more twists and turns to come. I honestly believe that. But you've got to ask Liverpool, can they maintain it? We chased them down, I think, went something like 14 undefeated straight wins or something crazy to chase them down and win it at Brighton. And that was pressure. Can they do that? I don't think they can. I think they're not as good as they think they are. I think the teams can get at them a little bit. And I'm just expecting, it got to go down to the wire, but I just don't think they can. I just think they can slip up as well. It's all right, people looking at Man City saying if Man City slip up, they've got a game in hand. They slip up once. Can't see us losing 3-4 games, can you?
Nah. And you talk about the losing factor. Man City haven't lost a game since the 30th of October. It's been 3.5 months. That's the last time Man City lost the game, and it was to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace at home. Yeah, I don't even want to put a damper on it, but I know what I expect tomorrow. So yeah, but anyway, let's move on to Spurs quickly. So I'm not really going to build up the game. I think with Spurs, we're in a shit position right now. We've lost 3 on the bounce. We just need any sort of reactions we spoke about on the Big Six. But I actually want to talk about Antonio Conte because he's been in the press. He's been in the press a lot this week. He gave the comments on Sky Italia. And of course, today you're hearing from Antonio Conte and from the journals that Spurs basically want him to stop doing these interviews with Sky Italia. Outside of looking in, what's your view on what he's saying? Because me personally, one of the main reasons I wanted Antonio Conte at our club was because he would be like this. He would be divisive. If he wasn't getting shit in his way, he would speak out on it. And that's something which we didn't have with Jose Mourinho, with Nuno. If they don't back him, then he'll just cause an almighty stink and just fuck the whole shit up, which is what I would like if they're not gonna back him. But do you think that he's being a bit too outspoken, or do you think that he's on the money with what he's saying?
I don't know. There's a lot of mixed signals coming out of there at the minute. Obviously, we expected him to come in. We knew the Tottenham side wasn't good enough. We know there's probably 5 or 6, maybe 7 players that shouldn't be anywhere near the team. We've got a transfer window. I was fully expecting him to bring some older players in, like he did at Inter Milan, players he can trust, players that can maybe not play the greatest football, but maybe turn Tottenham in a team that's hard to beat, and then he can build from there. He's obviously put some sort of plans to the chairman, but they've said they want to go in a different direction with the younger players. So when I'm reading into his comments about that's what I think's happened. Maybe he wanted to bring a couple of older people in just to steady the ship. But I think Daniel Levy's one of these guys where if they haven't got any sell-on value or potential sell-on value, we don't want to entertain it. You know what I mean? And I just think he seems disappointed. Looking at him, he seems disappointed. But one thing Conte should be able to do is get an extra 10% or 15% out of certain players who haven't been performing, just by putting an arm around them, just by telling them, I want you to do this. You're the man for me. I'm putting my faith in you. Because I've seen Pep do that to players, not the greatest players, but they've got a bit of a tune out of them. And that's why I'm surprised when I'm seeing the manner of the way you're losing, like the Southampton game and the Wolves game. It was basically like, just roll over and let him tickle your belly. And I didn't expect that from a Conte team, regardless of his players.
Yeah, no, I think you make a good point, and I think he could, like, as we were discussing yesterday, there are things in his control that he can do to get us playing. And to his credit, it's a bad period for us. It's his worst period since he's been at the club. But when we look at, like, what you said about the sorry, Dan, a big one. Turn the volume down, please. Sorry. When you look at the sort of extra 10 or 15% that you speak of, I look at players like Harry Kane who have hit like 7 goals in 12 appearances under Antonio Conte, whereas under Nuno, this guy had maybe like 1 goal in the league in like how many appearances?
He was still sulking under Nuno. He didn't want to be there. We all know that. He's still sulking. As soon as Conte comes in, a man like Conte, if he pulls you in the office and says, look, sack what went on in the summer now. You're my main man. We're fucking going to do this. We're going to do that. He's probably got a new lease of life. It's showing on the pitch. But I'm not being funny. If Nuno pulls you in and says, look, I'm sorry, you're staying here now, you're probably thinking, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? I would be.
yeah. Honestly, I think he was definitely gutted about not being able to join you lot in the summer. But listen, I think a lot of players that are shit players that are reverting to type, I think he's got a tune out of a few. Like even Winks, you know how bad Harry Winks is as a player, but he got a little bit of a tune out of him when he first came into the team. Even Davinson Sanchez, bozos like Sanchez, like this guy's actually got some decent performances out of these guys. I just think whilst yes he is moaning, I think he's right to moan in my opinion, because the squad is just not good enough. And like Pep is a prime example. Like Pep Guardiola, I saw that interview that Simon Jordan was doing the other day, calling him a checkbook manager, and I'm like, so what? Like, top manager has earned the right to spend money because when he spends money, he wins. I think you can apply the same logic to Antonio Conte. People talk about him spending huge sums, but his record is there. If you look at the last couple years at the clubs he's been at, when he gets his money, he wins, and he wins big, and he doesn't just win small fry. He dominates. So for me,
the thing is as well, Toby, you can give big money to managers. And there's a lot of managers out there that don't know what to do with it. They waste it. They don't know what to do with it. Pep Guardiola's the best for a reason. You give him big money and he delivers. End of story. And at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola, what he does on the pitch, the tactics, the games he wins, the way he can keep a team motivated for 38 games, the way he can keep a team in every single competition to the last kick of every season. You don't buy that. That's the manager. That's what he's about, Pep Guardiola. You know what I mean? We've seen managers in other clubs come in, spend millions of pounds. It's all fell apart. And then you're stuck with 8, 9, 10 players that you don't want. The new manager comes in. He don't want them. You're a victim of it a bit. Now, Conte's coming in. Half of them he don't want. Man United, half of them they don't want. Chelsea, under Lampard, you know what I mean? He brought his big guns in with big money. Thomas Tuchel, if he had a choice, he'd probably ditch 3 or 4 of them. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. City's 6 years into the Pep reign. So, you know, he's got his squad. He's got his system. They know what to expect. He's like Fergie now. He's down the road with his team. It's just 1 or 2 signings every season to tweak it here and there. You've seen all the players signing contracts. You've seen the young players. He just signed a Brazilian kid, Salvinho or something again today.
Another one.
Yeah, but to be honest, they're buying a team in Brazil next week. They've approached 10 teams to buy him. And one of them, Bahia or someone, I think we're down the road. We're buying a Brazilian team. So it looks like they're going to just buy the talent in Brazil and pump them into a team. So that's what it is.
Smart. They're plotting world domination. Flipping hell. But anyway, let's actually talk about the game itself then. So beyond the managers, let's actually talk about the players, because I'm looking at our team now, and whilst we're in really, really bad form, I need to see like the positives, like what players can I see making an impact tomorrow if we're to get a positive result. And I look at Kane, I look at Son. I know he's not been playing well recently, but he's got a pretty good record against Man City. I look at Romero, I look at Bentancur. I know, of course, you expect to beat us tomorrow. Saw that in your prediction yesterday. But if you did fear, like if you had someone that you're looking at our team, is there a player that you look at and say, oh, we can't give this guy the time and space to do what he needs to do. We need to be bang on him from the jump. Is there a player in our team that sort of gives you that feeling tomorrow?
Yeah, there's 2. Obviously, Son and Kane. Harry Kane gets half a chance, he's in. And Son, he has a knack of getting round the back of us and having playing a good game. I hope that Kyle Walker comes back in tomorrow, and I hope that
is he fit? Walker.
Yeah, he was suspended for the Champions League, but he's okay now. But I just hope that we just don't overdo it. Don't be stupid. You know what I mean? Play your best side. Don't change it. There was a couple of City guys saying Pep might change it, play Nathan Ake and things like that. That's just teeing yourself up. Play your best team. The rhythm's there. We can see it. We're playing really, really good. So let's just not worry about them and just basically play our own game. The way we're playing at the minute, the passing, the pressing, the intensity we're taking, is killing teams. Especially I fear for Spurs because they're on a bad run, and I just think if City get an early one, a few heads might drop.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the key concern there, man. I think mentally, and you saw it last season because we literally did the watch along last season at Don Robbie's. For like a good maybe 30 odd minutes, 35 minutes, we look kind of resilient defensively, and then as soon as the first goal goes in, it's curtains. It's curtains. So that's going to be the key for us. How long can we keep Man City at bay? That's what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, because I think for us, we just need to be sensible in how we play. Like, we can't come there and be arrogant, and we can't come there and be clumsy like we have done against Southampton and Wolves. I think we just need to be compact and do what's worked well for us against you when we have won in recent years, which is just try and hit you in the break. Because I know it's no longer a vulnerability of yours, but it's legitimately the only way we can play against you tomorrow. I don't see any other way.
To be honest, this season, getting us on the break, no one's really done it and punished us. It's more been an early goal that's took us out of our rhythm, like against Southampton the other week. They scored early, and it sort of like caught us a bit cold, and then we had to sort of start again. The thing is with City, we're like bullies, so we get our own way, and if we get our own way and get our noses in front, teams don't tend to come out of it. But if teams land one on us early doors, it sort of shocks us up a little bit, puts us on the back foot. And then if they've got something to hold on to, like Southampton and teams like that, when they defend and dig in and stuff like that, then it can be difficult for us. The crowd can get on our case. It's getting a bit nervy now. We know we're not really that far ahead of Liverpool. So in reality, if Spurs got an early goal, I think it changes the dynamic of the game. But like the way we've been playing at the minute, City have been dominating so good early on that we're making sure we get our noses in front.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It'll be an interesting game, because it's one of them games where everything is pointing towards a Man City win, but same way we as Spurs fans are looking for a reaction from this team. Okay, we're not expecting this team to go out and win at City, but we're expecting a reaction in the performance. That's the bare minimum that we expect from this team, and you would hope that they can give it to us tomorrow. But I'm looking at this game as well, key battles, and I'm really worried about Raheem Sterling and Bernardo Silva. Like, I know, of course, you lot are still playing with no striker, but it's not just them two as well. I'm looking at Mahrez as well. I think Mahrez, he's got something like 17 or 18 goals in all competitions this season. Sterling has got something like 4 or 5 goals in his last 3 appearances. Bernardo, he's been unbelievable all season as well. And it's like, I ain't even spoken about Kevin De Bruyne. I haven't even spoken about Phil Foden. It's like, I'm really not sure how Spurs can keep Man City at bay tomorrow, but we need to try and find a way. From a City fan, what are you expecting game plan wise tomorrow from Man City? Because I know you spoke about the early goal, but are you expecting one of those ones where you just literally just press us to death, or is it going to be sort of slow, methodical build up?
No, I think we press you to death. I just think we start so fast, and once we get that tempo up to that level, you can see teams can't cope. So I'm just thinking we get the press on you. We just go for the throat. We did it at Lisbon the other night. We had a couple of minutes in the first 5 or 10 where we were a little bit sloppy. Pep was going absolutely crazy on the touchline, and then all of a sudden we just kicked into gear and just picked them off. And I think they'll do the same with Spurs tomorrow. I just think we'll take it up to a level that they've not been used to in the last few games. And I think we just get the job done. But listen, it's always nervy around this time of the season. So especially from Spurs, if anyone can get a reaction out of the team, it's a manager like Conte. Do you know what I mean? If you come in here with Nuno on the back of a 3-game run, I'm not really, you know what I mean? That don't even enter my head. But the fact is that you've got Antonio Conte, who's probably been absolutely fucking fuming all week in training. You as Spurs fans have got to go there and expect a reaction. And listen, if he go there tomorrow and I think all you guys want is to show a bit of pride in it and have a goal. Yeah. If you have a goal and you get beat off a better side, you can handle that. But when you're getting beat off Southampton and Wolves at home, especially, it's a bit hard to take, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think even losing to them, it's disastrous, but it wouldn't even have been as ugly as it came out to look like if we had actually played with some guts, some pride, and they just battered us. But when you look at the goals we conceded against both sides, they were just honestly god-awful goals that you wouldn't even expect a championship side to concede, and yet we're meant to be one of the so-called best sides in the Premier League, and we're conceding goals like that. That's what we don't want. Is it true that Rodri's not available for this game?
No, I've not heard anything, to be honest. I've not done I've had a look at the any reviews, but as far as I'm aware, he's available, but I've not heard anything.
Yeah, because I know obviously Fernandinho played against Norwich, and then I think in midweek, I think Fernandinho played again, right?
No, Rodri played.
Rodri played? Oh, fuck's sake. So he's fit then. But honestly, I know you lot deal with transitions way better, but as I said, transitions is the only thing that I can cling on to for tomorrow. And I think if Antonio Conte can deploy the right players and deploy the right system tomorrow, maybe we can get some joy. Maybe. I'm looking at by joy, I mean Son. I think he does relatively well in transition. I think if we can get, for me, the key is going to be for us staying compact when we're out of position, and when we get the ball, move it quickly. And I think in our team, I'm looking at Harry Kane and Bentancur. These are the 2 players that I trust to sort of, as soon as they get the ball, they can try and move it with a little bit of thrust. I'm worried about everyone else when they get the ball as well. And I think the key thing for me that really scares me is the right-hand side. I don't know who he's going to play out of Emerson and Doherty. I'm fairly certain he'll probably opt for Emerson. But either way, the fact that Eric Dyer's back this weekend, Eric Dyer, fucking hell. The fact that Eric Dyer's back this weekend means that he's actually going to be able to play Romero on the right-hand side. So hopefully, even with Emerson's shitness or Matt Doherty's shitness, we're actually going to have like a competent defender to play on that right-hand side. But I don't know. The wing backs worry me defensively. Like when you look at those wing backs, do you see that as sort of like the weak links for you to exploit, or do you see it being more in the central areas?
I don't know. It's City do play a lot down the flanks. You know what I mean? Mahrez and Sterling are a big part of what we do. They don't get down the flanks, get on the outside and whip it in because there's no one really in the box. It's a lot of very intricate passes inside, little tiny overlaps, more inside. But I think you've got to watch De Bruyne and Bernardo for me. They're the ones that can hurt you. They're the ones that you can be set up. You can be set up really tight and think, yeah, we're sorted here. And Kevin De Bruyne just produces something out of nowhere, right round the back, and then bang, Foden or someone's in, bang, taps it in. And you think, you know what? There's nothing we can do against that. Our shape's right. We're pressing okay. It's just a moment of class. And when you look at the City team, Foden, Sterling, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Bernardo, it can come from anywhere. So you can be on point. Wolves came, defended so well. We got a penalty out of it, but to be honest, we should have battered them. And then you look at Southampton; they did well against us, but that was early on in the season. At the minute, I just think we've got a lot of answers to problems now. Teams are setting up to stop us, but somebody's always finding a way through. And I think if we get that early goal, it's on you guys to then come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And try. And if you do come out then and try and get something, I think the floodgates could open.
Yeah, they could. I think the key is just limiting as much damage as possible and just not being wasteful when we get the ball. Like we're not gonna have a lot of the ball tomorrow. I expect Man City will have at least 60% possession on average over the game. The key message is when we get the ball, just be effective with it, whether that's taking a little bit of a risk with a dribble or making the right run so whoever's in possession can make the pass. Honestly, same way you were speaking about Kane and Son. I'm looking for Kane and Son to rectify some pretty below par performances. More so Son over the past week. He was awful against Wolves. I'm looking for him to be razor sharp and like really, really good because we've not, even though he's put up some impressive numbers, we've not really seen like a top-notch Heung-min Son over a 90-minute game for a long time. So I think do it where you've done it before, please. Just harness the memories that he's had before and just give us something to cheer, man. Like it's gonna be a miserable day if I'm stood there tomorrow in the rain and I'm seeing us off the back of 4 or 5 goals. That's the last thing I want tomorrow. That is literally the last thing I want tomorrow. But yeah, I think with Conte as well, I think he's got to play the 3-man midfield. I don't know, like our midfield's not good, but I think he's got to play the 3-man midfield because you just mentioned it there. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Rodri. Like I think Man City are already a side that just have players who are 10 steps ahead, even when they're playing up against more bodies in the middle. So with us, where we have less bodies and lesser level of quality, he's got to overcompensate and just crowd the midfield for me. As much as it pains me to say it, Højbjerg has to start. Winks, if Skip isn't available, Winks has to start. And these are 2 guys that really shouldn't be starting a game for Spurs at this point in time. Based on
I think Gundogan might play.
Shades of last season.
Yeah, I just think Gundogan and Bernardo always play really well together, and I think they might play. He just might keep De Bruyne up his sleeve to see. Look at expressions in the chat. Listen, you and Tobi, yeah? Expressions and Tobi should start up a new boy band, innit? The Faded Pigeons. I'm telling you, the Faded Pigeon Crew. But nah, I'm telling you, it's. I think Gundogan could play. I think he could play. Listen, we're just in the middle of a title running. It's draining, man. It's draining. It's a good problem to have, but it's draining because you're like, fucking hell. You know, the longer the nights go on, you think, fucking hell. You know, if we lose tomorrow and all that. And I know we don't lose many in that, but it's mad. It's mad, mate. But listen, it will be what it is. Tomorrow, we've just got to get the job done. Like I keep saying, just got to get the job done.
Yeah. So last thing I want to speak to you about is just predictions. So I know on the Big Six yesterday, I think you went for 4-0. Was it 4-0? So
4-0, yeah.
you sticking to 4-0, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Fair. Guys, for those watching, 260% of you in here, just put your comments in just to see. Let me know what you're expecting predictions wise. Yesterday I went for a crazy 2-1. Honestly, I think I might go off the rails if we win that game 2-1. If we win that game 2-1, just don't bother messaging me because I'm gonna have the time of my life in Manchester. I think I might be going to the fight as well. I forgot to tell you, I might be going to the fight tomorrow evening. I know Saidi was looking for tickets as well. Is that something that you lot would be interested in coming to, or is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think Saeed mentioned it today. There'll be loads of tickets about. So it's just a case of getting down there. But I think Manchester will be hammered. It might be a problem getting hotels and stuff. So you have to just see what you can do. But have you got friends there, innit?
Yeah. I got friends there. Yeah.
Listen, if I was you, I'd be thinking, you know what? I'll come down for a double whammy. Do the game. Do the game. Do the fight. Do the game. Do the fight. It's a good weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. That's literally what I've got in my head right now. That's literally what I got. So I'm gonna weigh up the options tonight, and then I'm probably gonna make a decision tomorrow. But
are you driving tomorrow? Are you going on the train?
My friend, he's driving. He's driving tomorrow. So what we want to do is we want to drive tomorrow there, watch the game, watch the boxing, and then they basically want to drive like late in the night and get back to London at like something crazy like 4 a.m. in the morning. So I don't know how practical it is. It's gonna be brutal. Crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be brutal.
Especially if that wind's taking off, mate, you'd probably take off and fly home.
Mate, don't even joke about that. It's a lot of crazy shit happening right now. But yeah, okay, cool. 4-0 to you. Listen, I rarely predict Spurs to win against Man City, but you know what? Fuck it. In my head, it's telling me we're gonna lose 3-0, but I'm still gonna stick with 2-1. Let's see. If I speak it into existence, let's see what happens. This is it, man. Steve, thanks for hopping on, man. It's been a pleasure. No folks, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe to both my channel and Steve's channel as well. Look out for us tomorrow as well. Steve's going to be at the game. I'm going to be at the game. We'll link up beforehand. We'll link up afterwards as well. Yeah. Anything more to say, Steve?
Nah, just check out. Did a couple of previews today with expressions on his channel. That was pretty funny. Me and Saeed did the Mank talk, taking the piss out of Tobi. That was pretty funny. And yeah, it's what it is. Usual, all banter, all good-natured banter. Yeah, cool, perfect. All right, yeah, you lot check that out, and just keep an eye on the socials as well. I'm sure Steve will be on IG Live tomorrow. I'm probably even gonna go live before the game myself. Why not? Anyway, definitely. Thank you for tuning in. Take care, peace out, and have a great weekend.